first at noon. A one-time elite Nike runner has filed a $20 million lawsuit against the sportswear giant. Mary Kane alleges that her Nike coach, local long-distance running legend Alberto Salazar, emotionally abused her during their training. Kane said it was so severe that the abuse led to her cutting herself. And what's more, Kane says Nike knew about the problem and did nothing to stop it. Fox 12's MARILYN Deutsch reports from Nike headquarters in Beaverton.
The Nike Oregon project no longer exists, but for almost 2 decades it trained some of the country's most elite long-distance runners, and they trained right here at Nike headquarters. One of those runners was Mary Kane. In 2013, at the age of 17, she was called the fastest girl in America, and she moved from New York to Beaverton to train at Nike with Salazar. But in Kane's just filed lawsuit, she claims that the company and the coach created a toxic work environment for women runners. She says Salazar consistently made degrading comments about her weight, her body, and her appearance.
The hostile work environment that Nike and Salazar created really was on the basis of gender, because they weren't commenting about male athletes' rear ends and chests.
Kane says even after she won a junior world championship in Eugene, something no other American woman had done, Salazar told her she looked heavy. She also says the pattern of psychological abuse continued and there were emotional injuries. She says she developed an eating disorder and suffered from depression, anxiety, and PTSD. Kane says she started cutting herself and even confessed this to Salazar and a Nike sports psychologist who is not licensed in Oregon. She says they did nothing. In fact, in the lawsuit, Kane states that at one point Salazar teased her about being emotional, accusing her of being weak. Kane's attorney, KRISTEN McCall, says she wants Nike held accountable.
For the years-long emotional, psychological abuse that had physical harm.
And she wants teenage girls with a future in track to know this:
that your body comes first, your health comes first. Ultimately, that the kind of degrading, emotionally abusive behavior from coaches and companies that endorse that kind of behavior for profit and their own wins is not acceptable.
As for Nike, the sportswear giant told us in a statement that it's committed to, quote, positive affecting the future of sport for women and girls. They also said they don't comment on ongoing litigation. In Beaverton, MARILYN Deutsch, Fox 12 Oregon.